talking about serial returners. These are people that buy a bunch of stuff from you on eBay and Amazon and always seem to return the items. First, though, I want to tell you a little story. And this is a story about how I almost got completely screwed as a pretty new seller on eBay. So this happened about a year after I started selling on eBay. And everything was going along great, making some consistent sales, feeling really good. And I listed this item up for sale. It was a power tool. And when I listed it, I said that it came with a battery. I was wrong though. It didn't come with a battery. It was my mistake. Luckily, only one person purchased it and they complained about it, of course. I immediately gave them a partial refund and we changed the listing. The buyer was happy with that. We were happy that we weren't too screwed with that, and everything was good from there. So at that point, again, the listing was now changed. It was now correct at that point. Then we had someone come along and purchase about 19 of them from us. And I was super stoked because this was not a cheap item. It cost over $100, this item, with a good markup. So I really felt like, wow, like really crushing with this item, making a lot of money and taking it to the bank. Really excited. Then a couple of weeks later, they opened a return for one of them. And then they opened a return for another one, and then another one. And soon there was a return open for every single one that they had purchased from us. And remember, this was not a cheap item. And I was really excited because I thought I was making a lot of money on this. And for every single one, they reported that it was item not as described. And those aren't good for your account, especially more and more lately. eBay doesn't want returns open against you for item not as described. So pretty upset by this. And not to mention the fact that I didn't want to annoy this buyer because they had bought 19 items from us. They could leave us 19 negative feedbacks. And to make this worse, when I looked at our sales history with this buyer, they had actually purchased close to 100 items from us. And they didn't leave feedback on a lot of them. So they could still leave us negative feedback on a lot of those purchases. So I was really, really nervous about this one. So I contacted the buyer and I asked them what's going on, because we thought that we had, this was an accurate item description, that everything was good, everything was fine. But they were saying that it should have come with a battery. And I said, no, it shouldn't. Because if you look at the listing, it clearly says it doesn't come with a battery. And he said, well, it used to say that it comes with a battery. And I said, yeah, it used to say that, but it doesn't anymore. I changed it before you purchased it. So this buyer was mad. So apparently what I think happened was that the buyer, and sorry, I just had to switch cameras. The other one was acting funny. So I think what happened was that the buyer was actually using us to drop ship from. Maybe they were drop shipping onto Amazon. Maybe they were drop shipping onto eBay. When I originally put up the listing, they had copied that listing with the inaccurate description. Let me switch back. The camera's still acting weird. With the inaccurate description, and was basing everything on that one, which was obviously incorrect. So then all their buyers were purchasing it with the wrong information, and now they were expecting me to accept a return for all of these when it was clearly that dropshipper's, that buyer's fault. So all the returns were open. We had to honor the return because it was within 30 days. So we approved all of them. We got them return labels. I was pretty bummed out about it. I was trying to do damage control so they wouldn't leave us negative feedback, even though this buyer was acting really aggressively towards us. What ended up happening was they did leave us negative feedback for 8 of them, which was kind of strange. They didn't leave negative feedback for all of them, but I guess I wasn't really complaining at the time. And then, let me just make this. And then what we did was they actually never returned any of them. I don't know if they just weren't able to communicate with their buyers very well or what the situation was, but none of them were returned. So we actually got eBay to close all of those returns in our favor. All the negative feedback was removed. And luckily, the buyer never left negative feedback for the other items that weren't those. At that point, we just blocked that buyer and got rid of them. But the reason I'm telling this story is because today's topic is all about serial returners, as they're called. These are people, again, that just purchase items from you or purchase items from any online retailer and just continually returns the items. It doesn't even have to be online retailers. This is a common problem throughout the commerce world. I think I read a study that in the UK, this has cost UK businesses £60 billion a year. Amazon is well aware that this is an issue on their own platform, and they've actually said that they are willing to ban buyers who are serial returners. And we know that they're serious about this because Amazon has banned buyers before. In 2018, Amazon banned a bunch of buyers who were allegedly violating the terms of service by giving reviews in exchange for free products or gift cards, things like that. Amazon just banned them without any notice, without any explanation until later, saying that they were doing that. So Amazon is fully aware of this and fully ready to ban buyers for doing this. Apparently, they've done it a little bit already. Best Buy has done this as well. But the problem is they haven't really found a great system for doing this, for banning buyers like this. Apparently, one poor guy, he bought 3 phone cases, returned all 3 of them, and then Best Buy said, hey, if you return anything else, or actually they told him you're not allowed to return anything else. And they made him kind of feel like a criminal. And then they went back and said, we made a mistake. It was a automated system that flagged you, but it was obviously wrong. So this is a big problem for different retail companies, and they're still trying to figure it out. But luckily, us as eBay sellers are able to do something about this. So in your eBay account, inside your seller hub, what you can do is actually just block any buyers that you're not happy with. And I do this all the time on my accounts. So if you're inside your seller hub, which you get to just by coming to eBay and then hovering over my eBay, hovering over my eBay on the top right and clicking on selling, that will bring you to your seller hub. And then you want to go down to the square that says shortcuts right here. If it's not here for some reason, then click on the top right here where it says customize. See that right there? And then you can check off the box that says shortcuts. And now you should have this box that says shortcuts. And you can also choose which shortcuts you want by clicking on this gear icon. So make sure you have the one that says block bidders. Where'd it go now? Okay, I'm done. So now if I click on block bidders, I can just click here where it says add an eBay user to my block bidder buyer list right here. And you can add in any buyers right here, and they will not be able to purchase any items from you. So that's what I would do if you have someone who's just continually returning these items. Now, unfortunately, on Amazon, it's you're kind of out of luck there. This is only available on eBay. I wanted to share some other stories with you because when I was doing some reading about this, I found some absolutely crazy stories about people returning these ridiculous items. So Costco, as you might know, has a really lenient return policy. And this woman apparently returned this dead Christmas tree in January, at the end of January, to Costco. And when she returned it, they asked, why are you returning it? And she said, because it's dead. Well, no, duh, it's dead. It's now January, and you only need it for, you guys know. So that's a crazy story. Also found this website where they say that people have returned opened underwear to Costco, empty wine bottles because the wine gave her a headache, so she returned it even though it was empty. A used chicken coop. This guy was very, I guess he thought he was smart. He bought a new laptop and then took his old laptop and took all the stickers off of it, like the manufacturer stickers and the serial numbers, off the new one and put it on the old one, and then returned the old one. And because it's Costco, they take it. Apparently this woman forgot she had fish in her freezer for 13 years and then returned it. So let's see what else. Someone bought photos and then said they were bad looking photos, so returned them, even though he's the one who took them. 10-year-old ping pong table. Yeah, so some crazy stuff. I would like to hear from you guys if you know any crazy stories about weird returns that have happened. Maybe you've done some retail yourself and worked in one of these stores that have a very lenient return policy, and you have some crazy stories. I would love to hear them. I always like funny stuff like that. So let's see who's here in the chat. We have Christina and Martin from Thrift Store Gold. Big shout out to them. Christina and Martin are resellers. They have a YouTube channel about it. Martin's been doing it, and Christina's been doing it too, but Christina just put in her 2 weeks notice today to do reselling and YouTube videos full time. So big shout out to them. Congratulations, guys. So excited for you to see what this does for your business and to what this does for your life as well, the freedom that it brings for you. We have Lawrence here first. What's up, Lawrence from New Jersey? Christina and Martin saying, everyone hit that like button. Thanks for the reminder. I always forget about that. Awesome. Manalo says, I'm in West Palm Beach as well, so it'd be awesome if you could do a meetup there. Great. I'm looking forward to that. What's up, Charles? Thanks for being here. Rich says, I have many return requests and few ever get returned. I think that they try to get some discounts, etc. Since we don't play, they just figure they didn't get anything for free. Yeah, I've noticed that too, where a lot of these cases are open, these return cases, and then nothing is ever done with them. We end up closing out a lot of them. And that seemed to be the same thing with this guy, with this serial returner, which I wasn't happy about. Almost ruined my store. What's up from Greece? How's it going? Oh, Larry, what's up? Hey, what's up, Paul? We love you in Columbus, Ohio. Thanks, Larry. Appreciate that. Okay, so I had some questions that people asked this week that I wanted to put up on the screen so we can kind of look at these together. So, okay, so this was actually a question that one of my students asked inside my private Amazon group. This is the group that's only available to people who are members of my Amazon course. So this student asked a question about sales tax. Now, sales tax is really complicated, and I've made really long videos about it before, so I don't want to get into everything here. But this is the question. In general, the problem that this student is having is that, you know, we as sellers, a lot of times we have to collect sales tax for certain states, but Amazon and eBay are now starting to slowly collect the sales tax for us. So the question is, let's say for one of the states, Amazon collects the sales tax for you. Do you then have to file a sales tax return with that state? Anyway, the answer is yes. You still have to file it. You let them know what your sales volume was, but tell them that Amazon collected the money for you. It's called a marketplace, I'm blanking on the name, marketplace facilitator, I believe it is. And basically saying that Amazon is collecting the money on our behalf for us, so we don't have to do it. But you still have to file the return yourself. That's a great question. So the next question is, let's see. Oh, maybe I didn't have a ton of questions. So this is the screenshot of, somebody took a screenshot of the email they received from Amazon saying, hey, we noticed you've had multiple returns on your account. What's going on? So it's a very backhanded way for them to ask or to bring to their attention, hey, we know you're making a lot of returns, just FYI. So even though you think you're being smart about it, we know what you're doing, is kind of what this email is saying. Okay, so let me pull up some other snapshots from the week. Big shout out to some of my students. So I had a student on the channel not that long ago named Hui who was doing really well, and people are asking how he's doing. He's doing a lot of experimenting right now with different accounts. This is a screenshot he sent me the other day. This is an account that's less than a month old. He's experimenting with that. Obviously, he's doing well on that new account, so big shout out to him for that. And shout out to Charles. I want to give him one because he is crushing it as well on eBay. This is his first 2 months, and is already scaling up really nicely with that account. So big shout out to those guys. We have Swan here from Rochester. How's it going? Do returns impact your metrics on eBay. So they do, you don't want returns open for item not as described, which is really unfortunate because a lot of times buyers will open it as return item not as described, even when that's not the case. And just because they know that that will result in them getting a free return. Completely unfair, in my opinion, that you get penalized for that, but that's the way it is. Amy says, love West Palm. Please have a meetup. Sounds good. I was going to have one closer to Miami, but maybe I'll have one here as well if there's a lot of people around. Okay. You can dropship on Amazon? I thought you were not allowed to do that. Am I incorrect? So technically the terms of service say that you are not supposed to do it. We do it anyway. We provide the good customer service. We make sure items are shipped out on time. We take care of the customers, and Amazon allows us to do it for that reason. Okay, so if you just started eBay dropshipping and applied for a seller's permit, when is a good idea to start using TaxJar? Since right now I'm only getting a few sales a day. Do I need one immediately? No, you don't have to start using TaxJar immediately. You would want to do it after you get some volume going. Then you can attach an account. It's fairly inexpensive to do it, and then just check in with it periodically, and it will let you know which states you have to apply for to get a tax certificate from that state. Okay. So this is a good question. Do you separate your eBay accounts? Like, do you have one eBay account that has just Home Depot products, another one that has just Walmart items? I don't right now. I've done that in the past. It's a really great way of going because it helps you stay really organized. Specifically, I had an account that was all Amazon, and then one that was all, like Amazon to eBay, and then one that was Home Depot to eBay. Then I started selling Walmart, and I just did that in one of the accounts with the Home Depot one to experiment. I don't really do Amazon to eBay anymore because Home Depot and Walmart work so well with me, so that's where we're concentrating. And that's all in 2 accounts, but they're both mixed. I don't have one for Walmart and one for Amazon. One for Walmart and one for Home Depot. It's definitely a good way to go, but it's not necessary at all. Yeah. Cool. So I wanted to show you guys something else that I read today that kind of annoyed me. Just eBay nickeling and diming left and right. So as many of you might be aware, eBay is slowly moving over to their own managed payment system. And what that means is they're basically trying to get rid of PayPal and push them out of the way so that they can use their own payment processing. And they've been slowly rolling this out, letting some sellers use it. And one of the promises, I kid you not, they promised this, that the fees would be lower for us if we use managed payments instead of PayPal. They promised it. And they're already, before it's even fully implemented, they're already going back on their word in essence. So with PayPal, when you have a PayPal transaction, PayPal charges you a fee. The fee is 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. Per transaction means that if someone buys one item from you, that's a transaction. Or if they buy 20 items from you in one order, that's one transaction. So you only get charged at 30 cents once as long as it's all under one order, right? How do I make it so you can see? There we go. There we go. With eBay now, with their managed payments, they're charging a little bit less, 2.7%. And that 0.2%, that is a big difference. So props to them because they do have lower fees. But they say that they're going to charge an additional now 25 cents, I think it is. Where is it? 25 cents per listing. And that language is very precise, per listing. So we're not entirely sure what that means, but it sounds like what that means is for each item. So if someone buys 5 items from you in one order, that's 25 cents per item. So that can quickly add up more and end up being more expensive than the PayPal fees. So, eBay has to clarify what exactly they mean, if that's not what they meant, or if they meant per transaction. Why are they raising the price when they promised us that they wouldn't be doing that? It's pretty frustrating as well. But the truth is they are getting rid of PayPal. They're happy about it. PayPal's happy about it. So that's just the way it's going to be from now. Okay. Shoot. Oh, it looks like we're back to this camera now. Whatever. Can't control technology. Sell on other platforms. Okay. Question from Adam. I was just curious how I can sell on other platforms and not get flagged on eBay. What do you mean by sell on other platforms and not get flagged by eBay? Do you mean how to sell from other retailers? Is that what you mean? So the issue, you just want to make sure that you're using the right software for that. I use SKUGrid. Okay, Fantastic Gamer. Are you thinking about starting Amazon FBA? It's a lot more profit than dropshipping and much more hands-off on our part than dropshipping, ? So I'm not doing Amazon FBA. I've done FBA, but not private label in the past. Done more like retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, sending items over to Amazon and letting them handle the shipments, which is Amazon FBA. It's not private label FBA though. And it works. I mean, we were doing okay with that. It's the online arbitrage was not more hands-off. It was more hands-on for us. I'm sure we could hire a team of virtual assistants to do that, but we were just too busy with the drop shipping to kind of divide on that and conquer that. So we just went back to focusing on drop shipping. But it definitely works, and private label definitely works as well. Now, private label FBA does work, but the upfront cost is going to be much more. You have to buy a bunch of inventory, probably from China, and send it into Amazon's warehouse. You got to buy a bunch upfront. So there is that cost. There is also additional risk involved with Amazon FBA because you're sending the products believing that they're going to sell, but nothing is ever certain, right? You're not entirely certain that the item is going to sell. So there is some of that risk there. With dropshipping, that risk really doesn't exist because you're not buying products until someone buys them from you. So the risk of dropshipping is much, much lower. And because you don't have to buy the inventory up front, the upfront investment is much lower as well. So that's why for me, dropshipping was such an easy way to get started, and why I still recommend that most people who have no e-commerce experience start with dropshipping because it does have that lower risk and lower barrier to entry. Now, the great thing about private label FBA, if you ever want to get into that in the future, is that it does tend to have higher margins if you find the right product and build your brand correctly on Amazon. So that means you could potentially make more money with less products. So that's a trade-off there, right? More risk, but potentially more reward. Whereas with dropshipping, less risk, but lower margins there. Dylan says, what do you think about Spot and Paste? I love Spot and Paste. Absolutely fantastic. We use it both for our eBay business and for our Amazon business as well. Thank you for being here. Yes. So Joey says, can you hide the price on the invoice from Walmart? No, you can't. The option's not there. They don't really have a gift option. A lot of times they won't include the invoice anyway or the price. Sometimes it is included. Sometimes it's not. So it's kind of just up to chance there. But I don't think that should stop you from drop shipping from them because we find that most customers don't care. I wouldn't let that stop you. Oh, I also want to tell another story because inside my eBay dropshipping group, which again is only for paid members of the course, of my eBay course, somebody had a question about FedEx or UPS, and I promised them that I would tell a story about something that happened with me when I was living in New York City with FedEx, because it's a pretty ridiculous story. I don't know if I told this already. on my channel, but I'll tell it right now. So we've always had problems living in New York City with delivery of packages. So we would always have packages stolen from us. Even when they were put inside our apartment building, they would get stolen. Packages would never get delivered. They would get lost. USPS, the postal service, was terrible out there, and the other ones weren't that much better anyway. So what happened was we kept getting the packages stolen, like I said, and we were trying to figure out who was stealing them. So I went during lunch one day to walk my dog, and on the way out, I noticed I had a package there from UPS. It was something I ordered from Amazon. It was a book, actually. So I said, okay, great. It's inside. It's safe. I'll get it on my way back from walking my dog. So I go to walk my dog, probably walk like 10, 15 minutes at the most. I'm walking back, walking down the block. I could see my apartment, and I see a FedEx guy coming out of the building with a empty hand cart. So he clearly delivered some item, but he was holding a package in his hand. And when I looked at the package, I said, wow, that really looks like that book that I just ordered, that I just saw on my way out. So as I'm walking by him, I stop him. I said, were you just trying to, I kind of made up a reason to stop him. I said, were you just trying to deliver that package to that building? And he said, yes. So I kind of like took the package and moved it, even though it was in his hand, to see it. And it had my name on it. It was my package that was inside. So I took it and I said, why did you take this? I confronted him about it. He said, oh no, I was trying to deliver it and it was on the ground. And I'm like, this isn't, like, you're FedEx and this is UPS. You can't say you were trying to deliver this. So then he walks away, and I'm thinking to myself, like, maybe I'm confused. Maybe it's still inside and he was telling the truth. And I go inside, sure enough, it was gone. Like it was the right one. He had taken it. And I go outside and he's gone already. So evidently what this FedEx guy has done, he delivered a FedEx package. Like, there was actually a package there for one of my neighbors. Then he saw my package from UPS and he stole it. Like, how can you trust anyone when the people you're letting into your apartment building to deliver packages for one company are stealing the packages that have been delivered from another company? Like, it was completely ridiculous. And when I called FedEx about it, they said, oh, it's nothing to do with us. We contract this out. So then I had to call a local FedEx company that they were contracting with. They said, oh, no way that would happen. That would never happen. And then I kept calling the guy back and saying, look, like, what do I like, why would I be making this up? I have nothing to gain from making this up. This is a waste of time for me to call you, but I'm just kind of annoyed that this keeps happening because our packages kept getting stolen. So he assured me eventually that there was some sort of discipline that was going to happen and it would never happen again. But that story just, like, when it happened, I was just like, wow, that just annoyed me so much. So I wanted to share that story because somebody was asking about tracking numbers, and I said I would share some ridiculous story that happened to me, and that was it. Okay, so back to drop shipping questions. Let's see. Yeah, good point. Raymond says, so a lot of these Amazon packages are delivered by contractors, like outside contractors. And Raymond makes a good point that sometimes they'll just quickly ring your bell and then throw it on the doorstep and take a picture of it and say it was delivered. And yeah, and that's something you should know as a drop shipper if you're drop shipping from Amazon, because a lot of times you'll see the item was delivered and it'll have a picture of it, but sometimes it was actually just left on the street and then stolen. So just be aware of that as well. Those pictures aren't always the most credible evidence. So Dylan has another question about spot and paste. Does it work with AliExpress? So the way spot and paste works, if you guys don't know what it is, spot and paste allows you to quickly copy addresses, your buyer's address, from eBay or Amazon, or I think Shopify as well, and paste it onto your supplier's website when you go to checkout on their website, like Home Depot, Walmart, whatever. So it works. It's already set up to work with a lot of different suppliers. Like, I know it works with Home Depot. I know it works with Walmart. I know it works with Amazon. But it's also designed in a way that you can teach it how to work with other websites. Like, I'm pretty sure I'd be surprised if it didn't work with AliExpress already, but if it doesn't work with AliExpress, you can actually teach it how to work with AliExpress. I know it sounds weird, but I've made videos about it. Maybe I'll link that up below. But it's very easy to do once you do it once. Let's see. Cool, guys. So I think I've answered everyone's questions in the live chat. If you guys want to make sure that you don't miss the next live stream, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also hit the little bell notification. Yes, hit that thumbs up, then hit that red button that says subscribe, and a little bell will pop up next to it. Click on that bell until the 2 lines appear next to it. That will give you an alert every time that I go live so that you don't miss out on these live streams and miss your chance to ask questions. But if you guys like the video, again, give the video a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.